Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum and I'm here today at the Rock Island Auction Company taking a look at some of the guns that they're going to be selling in their upcoming December of 2017 premiere auction. And today we have a unique prototype rifle made by Steyr in Solothurn, Switzerland, and I believe manufactured for Hungarian military trials. But got a lot of extrapolation and a lot of speculation because there's very little actual documented information on this rifle. So let's start by getting a close-up view, taking a look at the features and seeing what we can tell about this rifle from the various mechanical features on it. Let's begin with the one piece of really definite information, and that is Steyr Solothurn engraved in the receiver ring. And you can see that this is hand engraved. That's not stamped. That's not a mass production thing. This is absolutely a prototype rifle. However, there's no other information marked on it anywhere that I can find. Next up, let's consider the bolt. There's a fairly distinctive shape to the bolt handle, and we have this solid shroud over the back of the bolt instead of an exposed cocking piece. And this actually tells us quite a bit, because this is identical to, or this is, the Austrian model of 98/17 rifle. This was developed as an improved rifle during World War I, but they were never able to actually adopt it because of, well, the rigors of the economy in 1917 in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So the rifle kind of sat on the sidelines. It was just a prototype until after the war. The Steyr company was attempting to make some commercial sales, and they actually sold this design to the Chinese. And in fact, there was this was responsible for quite a lot of Steyr business at the time. Steyr sent a delegation over to the Mukden arsenal in China and set up a factory and a production line, or rather set up production tooling in an existing factory to make these rifles. And these were produced as the Type 13 between 1924 and 1931 in China. Now I say these, what I mean is a Mauser style of rifle with this bolt. The Chinese made something like 135,000 of them. It was a really great, a nice big sale for Steyr. Now, this particular rifle has a Mannlicher magazine on it. The Type 13 that was made in Mukden had a Mauser magazine on it, namely, well, just like a Mauser Model 98. A flush-fitting floor plate held 5 rounds of 8mm Mauser ammunition, double stack, etc. This has a Mannlicher style of magazine. You can see that it's open there at the bottom. And this is chambered for the 8x56 rimmed cartridge using the standard Austrian bloc clip. So this is reminiscent of what Austria would have probably been designing in World War I. They would have had a rifle set up to use their current standard ammunition, but they thought that the Mauser bolt system was better than the Mannlicher bolt system. Now, if we carry this forward in time, we are going to get to the 1930s in Hungary. And Hungary at that point was transitioning from, or they did transition from the M95 straight pull Mannlicher carbine to the 35M turnbolt Mannlicher rifle. And so there would have been trials in Hungary at the time to choose what the best rifle would be to adopt. Now at this point, Hungary is still using the 8x56 rimmed ammunition in those bloc clips, and I believe that this is a rifle that the Austrian Steyr company submitted for trials in Hungary. In addition to having that 8x56 style of magazine, it also has this very distinctive stacking rod, which is very much in the Hungarian pattern. We have a protected, shrouded front sight there. We have a cleaning rod in the bayonet lug. Just the general feel of the muzzle end of this rifle is Hungarian in nature. The very large square sling swivels on this are also have a Hungarian feel to them. Got the same sort of sling swivel at the back with this limited rotation to it. There's a disc on the side of the stock, not engraved, but there for information. The barrel band here is held in place by a screw, not by a spring clip. And simply, in general, the best estimate that I can come up with for the purpose of this rifle would be military trials in Hungary in probably about 1931, maybe up till 1933. Ultimately, assuming that I am correct in this rifle lost out The Mannlicher 35M was chosen instead, and that's what Hungary ended up adopting and manufacturing in large numbers. One other feature that I need to point out is that there is a groove in the receiver right here, and another groove in the bottom of the receiver right here. Now, the 98/17 pattern that the Austrians came up with during World War I had one of those innovations, or one of those improvements that everybody wonders why they didn't exist in World War I, namely a dust cover. It had a sliding sheet metal dust cover over the receiver, very much like an Arasaka. That was, of course, never put into production at the time, but when they came back to propose this to Hungary, it looks like either they used the same tooling and just cut the slots without including a dust cover, or the dust cover has been lost at some point in this rifle's history. But both the Chinese versions, the Austrian World War I versions, both had sliding dust covers on them. Now, you'll notice they also have a fixed shield at the rear of the striker instead of having an exposed striker. Well, in fact, why don't I pull the bolt out to show you how that works. We're going to put this in the disassembly position like that, and then the bolt comes out just like any standard Mauser. With the safety in that vertical position, it is locking the striker in place, so I can rotate this around, pull the bolt body off. And here you can see the main change from a standard Mauser bolt, namely that the spring inside here is shrouded inside this solid tube. We can then remove the back piece here by pushing in and flipping that safety flag over to the fire position there. That allows us to remove this rear piece, and then we have the spring inside that tube. Back here, we now have this, instead of having this piece extend all the way out the back and be visible, now we have a guide rod for it here, along with a little sheet metal shield. If I rotate that up to that position, then I can pull out, here's that side. There we go. Then I can pull out the safety flag and this guy. And then we're pretty much done with disassembly there. So there is our bolt pretty much stripped down. Well, there's a fairly decent chance that I have gotten something wrong in this video simply because of the lack of documentation. If you happen to know of more information on this and you can point out corrections or things that I missed, or maybe just additional information beyond what's in this video, I would be very interested in hearing it. I will keep an eye on the comments below for that sort of information. Also, of course, if you'd like to own this rifle, if you think it would fit well in your own personal collection, well, it is, of course, coming up for sale here at Rock Island. So in the description below the video, but above the comments, you will find a link to Rock Island's catalog page for this piece. You can take a look at their pictures and description and price estimate and all that sort of stuff. And you can place a bid on it live here at the auction, or over the phone, or through their website. Thanks for watching.